Marcia and I had just finished a late supper and had decided to retire to the porch here to enjoy a beer and listen to the oldie station. The sun was just starting to set over the hills behind us, turning the mountains to the east purple and casting a warm glow over the whole valley. It seemed like a natural setting to open discussions as to where our Saturday evening might be leading us, when we were interrupted mid-smooch by the grind of half-bald tires on the gravel. I didn't need to see the yellow door panel on an otherwise red Dodge to know that it was Virgil Hawks. Not being overly fond of Virgil, Marcia went in the house while I went out to the drive. Virgil, what brings you out to see? Oh, Virgil, you're smoking again. I thought you gave up those coffin nails months ago.
Lord, Jeff, cancer's the least of my worries right now. I'm in trouble with something fierce.
Oh, it can't be all that bad.
Yes, it can. Yes, sir, it can. I got something I think you ought to see.
Virgil, what? Well, huh? Me, Virgil. Looks like you got yourself a dead mothman here.
No shit, Jeff, really? Because I thought maybe it was a cow.
Well, yeah. No call for sarcasm, just calm down.
Calm down. I got a dead Mothman on my hands, and you want me to calm down? This ain't some hoax deer we're talking about here. This is an alien creature, or a pan-dimensional being at the very least. Getting excited is the only thing that makes any sense.
So this is one of the things what caused all that trouble up at Point Pleasant. Don't know why they call it Mothman. It don't look like no ball I ever seen. Looks more like a big, ugly, squashed bat. Smells like a rancid turnip bark, too. Where'd you find it?
I didn't find it. I shot it.
You shot it?
Yeah, I thought it was a coyote.
You thought that was a coyote?
Remember last week when I told you I thought it was coyotes coming up around my house? Remember?
Yep, Virgil. You always think something's sneaking around your property, stirring up your dogs. If it ain't coyotes, it's rabid groundhogs or African lions or somebody out to break in your shed and steal that antique blowtorch you got.
Well, this time I was right. I did hear something creeping around my tool shed. So I grabbed my rifle and thought I could sneak up to the corner and surprise it. Well, when I whipped around the corner, it wasn't a coyote. It was this thing. It was all bent over and had its back to me. I think it was taking a shit.
So you shot it?
Well, I thought it might attack.
While it's taking a shit?
Confound it, Virgil. You ain't helping.
All right. So you shot it. It's dead. Now what are you going to do with it?
I'm getting the hell rid of it. That's what I'm doing with it.
What for? The tabloids pay big bucks for pictures of aliens and Bigfoots and whatnot. What you think the National Enquirer would give you for the real life, well, the real dead McCoy?
Don't you know anything, Jeff? I can't let nobody find out that I ain't seen that. I can't even let nobody get word of it. Nothing.
What up?
Don't you know anything, Jeff? MIBs.
MIBs?
The men in black. Them guys that watches the aliens.
UFO all night again show. You just love hearing all those kooks and crazies spouting off about alien abductions and cattle mutilations and anal probes. It's nuts.
It ain't nuts.
Now, wait a minute. If I remember correctly, that's the same radio show what said that the United Nations was run by vampire witch aliens out to take over the country and get rid of daylight savings time. Same show, right?
Jeff, you just shut up and listen to me. This is important.
Fine.
Like I was trying to say, I was listening to Rick Winston's show, and he had this doctor guy on there, and he was up in Oregon or Montana someplace, and he was out walking his dog in the woods, and they stumbled upon an alien.
One of these, or was it the Flatwoods monster wearing a dress?
Neither. It was one of those gray mothers with the big black eyes.
Did it probe it?
No, but put it up and killed his dog using mind powers or something.
Naturally.
Well, that kicked off the doctor guy, so he whacked the alien in the head with a stick. And he thought it was good and dead, so he took it home and put it in his deep freeze. But first, he took pictures of it. I seen them on Rick's website.
See pictures. I'll bet he sold them for $1 million too.
He didn't get the chance to. A couple of days later, some guys broke in and stole the alien right out of the deep freeze. That's when the threatening phone calls started, and guys in black suits driving big black cars trying to run him down. The whole bit. He had to leave town. Now he's on the run from the MIBs full time. He calls into Rick's show every few months with an update from a different and undisclosed location.
The MIBs, huh?
Hell yeah! And they ain't nice like the ones in movies. They'll hunt you down if it Heritage, Georgia. And if they decide to disappear you, nobody will ever know. They'll make it look like an accident.
So, how do you feel?
Lord, ever since, as soon as I realized what I'd shot, I drug that sumbitch up to the truck and covered it up quick. They say just seeing one of these things is a harbinger of doom.
So, how do you feel?
Damn, Jeff. I know you're adverse to reading anything but the Word of God, but you ain't even read the textbook about the Mothman? West Virginian, all your life.
No. The Mothman prophecies? No. It's all a movie. Very darn weird, if you ask me. They never even showed you what the Mothman looked like. How are you going to have a monster movie and not show the monster?
Well, you can forget about all that weird stuff, because the real thing didn't happen that way. But that thing at the end where the Silver Bridge collapsed and all those people died?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. There's your horrible tragedy. Hardened by the Mothman.
What is it now?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta pay attention, Jeff. You gotta look at the big picture. People up in Point Pleasant, they've been seeing Mothman and UFOs and MIBs for all of 1967. And some of them have terrible dreams, even dreams about the bridge collapsing. And then when it did collapse, poof, no more Mothman.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying it ain't good to see one of them things here and now. It's a foretelling of bad stuff happening. Bad stuff happening to me.
Seems to me that if the Mothman could foretell bad stuff happening, might have foretold some for itself. Maybe then it would have found a place to squat where it was less likely to get shot in the ass.
I don't know why I thought you'd be any help, Jeff. I don't even know why I even came out here in the first place.
Well, maybe. If you're so all fired to get rid of it, why didn't you just dump it off the river cliff like you do any other carcass?
And just how do you know I dump carcasses off of Milton Cliff?
Oh, please. Everyone around here, up to and including the game
If something odd gets dumped off there now, it would lead right back to me. No?
Well, good point. So why don't you just dump it somewhere else then?
Jeff, ain't you even seen the police shows? They could trace my bullet right back to me. Even if I dug it out, they could examine the microbes and the trajectories, and I'd be caught. No, this thing has got to be hid or destroyed for good. We're talking about a Mothman here. We're not talking about some old deep freeze that you can just roll in a holler and forget about. This thing has got to be...
Big what? What?
Jeff, when you're out hunting and you come across an old freezer out in the woods, did you ever stop to take a look inside of it?
Hell no. You ever can tell what kind of nasty thing might be put inside?
Yeah, me too. You know, wouldn't nobody be able to look inside of it if we welded it shut first.
That's right. Strictly for safety's sake. We wouldn't want the kids playing in it. Somebody could get hurt.
There you go. I'll go get my torch.
Virgil took his horrible creature home to get his blowtorch, while I went in to get Marcia the good news. Of course, I didn't mention the Mothman part. She wouldn't cotton to having such things up near the house, even if they were dead. But she was pretty glad that we were finally getting rid of that old freezer. A couple hours passed by, though, and Virgil still hadn't come back. The fire department never did figure out for sure what caused the explosion that destroyed Virgil's tool shed. Common notion was that Virgil had gone inside and lit up a Lucky Strike and cut a leak from the gas pumps that worked for his welding torch. They say he blew himself to bits. Maybe so. Trouble is, they never found any of the bits or any other trace of Virgil's body either. They never found any other bodies, especially ones with like big, ugly, squashed bats. Nevertheless, this didn't stop the coroner from declaring Virgil dead. His point was that nothing could have survived an explosion like that. My point was, they never found any of Virgil's truck either. But none of the official types around town seemed to want to hear anything about that. So, Virgil stayed dead. I still sit on the porch on summer evenings, but not without thinking of Virgil Hawks. Most days, I choose to imagine that Virgil had a change of heart on his way home that night. Maybe he felt bad about getting me involved in something that he thought was so dangerous. Maybe he blew up his shed to fake his death and slipped away into the night. Maybe he's still out there somewhere, moving from state to state or country to country, living by his wits full time, running from the MIBs full time. I like to think so. I keep hoping that someday Virgil might call in to update the listeners as to his location somewhere distant and undisclosed. I've even been known to tune in Rick Winston's UFO all night once in a while. But I keep hoping. So far, Virgil never has called in.
Scoff, if you will, dear listener. But I see this as even more evidence that the vampire witch aliens are truly in control. Coming up on the program, we've got Sasquatch sightings from Saskatchewan, abductions in Alabama, and right after the break, we'll go to our East Coast line with a call from West Virginia about African lions roaming the mountain state. Hope you've got the coffee on. I'm Rick Winston, and this is UFO All Night.